I'm joined now by trainer Belinda Green, who of course trains Bradys Bullock, who will go from trap 1 in the RPGTV Juvenile on Sunday. Belinda, thank you for joining us. Your kennel must still be buzzing, not just after winning that Monmore Puppy Derby final, but the manner in which he did it.
Massively so. Having a dog, he doesn't exactly come away overly well, and Monmore was never really going to be the sort of track that you think would see the best of him. But I'm a bit speechless with him. It's hard to explain. And obviously, from where I was, I walked him. You can't really see the home straight from the pickup, so I'm very much going on the commentator, and then watching it back, he's gone straight up the middle of the pair of them as well. It was immensely impressive, and hopefully a lot more to come.
What pleased you most about it? His speed or his track craft?
Mainly his track craft, because he's a very, very young dog. He's only had 7 career starts. That's literally it. That's all he's had, and only a handful of trials. So to have a dog with that sort of mentality is, as a trainer, that's half the battle, because that's something you can't train into a dog. You can't do anything about his mentality. But he's a wise head on young shoulders with quick legs.
I think that's what's so frightening, is that he's had so few races. Obviously, won his last 4, but just the July 2021, the maturity he shows is amazing.
Yeah, definitely, and that's not just his racing. That's him day to day. He's very much a grown up. He doesn't do anything like a puppy. He kennels really well. He's not a barky type. You have to go in and get him off his bed most days, and he's the same traveling, and he's the same at the racing kennels. He's very much just a cool customer.
They do say that with good dogs, don't they? They do everything right. He pretty much did everything right when he went to Towcester for a trial at the weekend as well. 29.99 he clocked. Pleased with that?
No, we were kind of going for like a 29, kind of 40 sort of thing. Would have been happy enough. And then to do 29.29, I was really happy with him. He seemed to come away a little bit better than he had been at Monmore. Again, in theory, the track should kind of play to his strengths. So hopefully, like I say, we're taking each run as it comes. We're not trying to get too carried away with him or anything, because it's very easily done. But we're trying to just keep a very level head about him and just see how we go. Fingers crossed, Towcester should be the place for him.
The trainer is as cool as the dog sounds, that's for sure. But let's talk about the race on Sunday. Drawn trap 1, he's around about the 7-2 mark. Do you think he can afford to give these dogs the sort of start he did in the Monmore Puppy Derby, or do you want to see him come away better?
Obviously, you'll always like to see him come away better, because it just gives you less to do, And again, with this sort of race, you don't really want to be making too many mistakes, and you don't really want to have to be playing catch up. But in saying that, that might just be how he is, and it's a massive step up for him. Obviously, he ran against some very, very good dogs in the Puppy Derby, but now we're looking at dogs that are, he's giving a lot away in age and experience. You got dogs that have been around there a lot more than he has. There's a lot of things against him. But in saying that, like I say, he's a lovely, lovely dog. He does take everything in his stride. If he could just, get a nice pitch going around the first turn or whatever, I think he'll do a big run. Whether he'll be winning against the likes of Romeo Command, etc., probably not. But, at the end of the day, it will give us a really, really good marker to how he kind of deals with that step up in class. And, we'll enjoy the race.
Whatever happens, it looks like you've got a monster on your hands here for the future. I'm really pleased for you, and for the connections, obviously, who are loving every minute as well, I know. Belinda, thank you for talking to us, and all the best for Sunday.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Well, trainer Frank Gray joins me now, who has Makeit the Bear going for him in trap 3 of the Juvenile on Sunday. Congratulations, Frank. What a lovely race for you to be involved in. You must be pretty proud.
Yeah, I am proud of being involved in it. It's such a special race. We're going for many years, so we'll take our chance.
Absolutely, and a special dog as well. That said, you're not quite in the place you'd like to be in with him. Just explain what's been going on.
Yeah, just in January, he got the sickness. We stayed away all last year. There had no sickness in the kennel at all year. And in early January, he got the sickness, and he lost about 2.5 kilos after the Puppy Derby. And yeah, he got it quite bad. So he lost a lot of muscle mass. But he's back up to his racing weight. But he's about 80% off his fitness. So, but we're here. We'll take the chance. We're going to enjoy the day and try our best.
not ideally where you want to be when you're running in this sort of company. But you did have a chance to give him a race around Towcester recently. Obviously, he came fourth, but that blowout would have done him the world of good.
Yeah, he had a race. Ideally, trap 2 is not really ideal for this dog. He wants 3 or 4. As I said, yeah, like he had a blowout, and he's had a trial since then as well. I think he clocked a 70 with a 20 slow, so he's done 29.50. I'm pleased where he is at the minute. I'm pleased with him. He will come on. Obviously, like you say, the caliber of the race is very high. It's great to be a part of it, and but he'll come forward. He will come forward on the day.
It's very much a sort of joint effort between you and the dog, really, because it hasn't always been the smoothest ride for this dog. I think in his very first race, he fell at the 3rd bend, which is not what you want to be seeing for a pup. You've kind of nursed him through his career a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's a special dog to me. He's a lovely dog. And yeah, his first race, he fell over at the 3rd. He's a big clumsy. He just went into the 3rd bend with no respect, sort of thing. He just dived at it, and unfortunately, he come off the worst and fell over, sort of thing. And he knocked his confidence back. But now he's, he knows what he's doing. Sort of, like I said, I'm hoping for a good run.
And it sounds like trap 3 you're happy with.
Yeah, I'm happy with the draw. Yeah, happy with the draw. It's fine for him. Trap 3 is good.
And obviously, all being well beyond this, you'll have all eyes on the Derby.
Yeah, that's our main aim. We got asked to run in this, and it's a good start. It's a good campaign for the start of the year. Our main aim with him is not to push him now. Really, it's just to, get him ready for the Derby, make sure he's fit and well, and by the time of the Derby, he should be clocking decent clocks around here. But look, we're trying our best Sunday. Let's put it this way.
It sounds like you've got a lot to look forward to. I wish you all the best for Sunday. Whatever happens, enjoy the occasion. Well done for getting there, and best of luck. We'll look forward to seeing much more of Make It the Bear.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, trainer Dave Mullins is double-handed in the RPGTV Juvenile on Sunday afternoon. We're going to start by talking about Romeo Hotshot, who's drawn in trap 4. Dave, first of all, your reaction to the draw?
Draw's not ideal. It's not the way. It's probably worked out really well for some of the others. Romeo Hotshot, no, it's not where I would have placed him. But hey, it's where he's drawn, and we just have to deal with it.
Obviously, Romford Puppy Cup winner last year in a really competitive race. I think it was January, actually. You had 3 of the field. It was a tough race, and he was a great winner. I think I tipped against him on the night stupidly. But just a brilliant race and a brilliant dog at Romford.
Yeah, I think on the night, if you look at the field, most of them have ended up being more or less stayers as they've trained on. And, later on in his career, it wouldn't surprise me if he stepped up to that distance, maybe way after the Derby or something. But I'll speak to Dave about that, because we'll probably go for the produce or something as well. But no, he picked up a niggle at Oxford, and it just took a little bit of time to come right. And I don't think the litter particularly like the winter weather anyway. So, but looking at his run on Sunday, he's definitely starting to come forward. So I don't think it'd be physically, condition wise, he's definitely at his best. But just get a few races into him, and I think we'll see what he's all about again.
I was actually going to ask you about that, because you have given him a fairly quiet winter, and interesting you say that they don't like the winter weather so much. How close to being near his best is he?
I don't think he's far away. It's just getting that continuity of racing. I think there are definitely dogs that like a lot of work, and when the ground was rock hard, we couldn't give it to them. And I know I go on about it quite a bit, but the 4-day rule definitely doesn't help that litter. They need more runs.
Yeah. And he started life in A3 at Romford last May. I think one of the advantages he's got is racing experience.
Yeah, he has. But I mean, they do thrive on confidence as well. I mean, they in themselves, they're full of confidence. But when you take them away, I think it takes them a bit of time to get used to the venue they're at. They just don't, on the track, they just don't seem to be as confident as what they were. You take them to Romford and they just like blast round, and you know what to expect from them.
Around about 16-1 in the initial betting, the outsider of the field. Is that fair?
I think the draw reflects that. I think had he got his pitch that how I would have drawn it, you would have halved them odds. But you know, it's fair enough. I mean, he doesn't know what price he is. You know, and to be fair, he's one of the stronger dogs in the field, and if he was to get a pitch anywhere at all, come in handy, coming off the into the last bend, he'd certainly put the frighteners on them.
Well, there you go. Romeo Hotshot goes in trap 4 Sunday afternoon at Towcester in the RPGTV Juvenile. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, I'm joined now by our very own Rose Draper, who is representing the Draper kennel to talk about Distant Podge. Gosh, Rose, what a dog for you to have in your kennel. You must be thrilled to have one this good.
Yeah, he was really special kind of the back end of last year. We've had a little bit of a few problems with him, but he's hopefully getting back to himself. His trials have been decent. His trials, especially at Sheffield, have been good. I was quite pleased with his sprint trial at Towcester. He's 500. Well, we didn't really learn too much. We had no sectional to go off, hand times, but he looked to go well enough on the eye. The time wasn't great. We were expecting maybe slightly faster, but we're pleased with how he's come out of the trial. And yeah, he's just ready for a race. He might be maybe a run or two short of work, but we're going in there, we're going in fresh, and he's a dog that loves racing. So you seem to see a lot more of him in races than we do in trials.
Yeah, and I think actually this time of year, that's the case for most of these dogs. They may be like 1 or 2 races short. But if we go back with this dog, obviously he won the Puppy Classic at Nottingham last August. He was red hot favourite for that. But prior to that, you kind of took your time with him by the looks of his form. And as a result, he's fairly lightly raced.
Yeah, I think he's only had 11 or 12 races so far in his career. He came over. We found a little bit of a problem with him after a few trials, and then I graded him on at Sheffield, and we knew he was, we thought it was going to be a nice dog when he came over. We graded him in at Sheffield, and he only kind of went in A3, and me and Dad had a chat about it and had a chat with Pete, and we said, we know that this dog's better than that. And then we kind of took him to Nottingham, and he took off from there. But it doesn't seem to be a dog that's in love with Sheffield. And that's kind of why we thought that Towcester might maybe suit. It's a little bit different, a little bit more like Nottingham. It's kind of in between. They've got kind of sharper bends. He didn't seem to kind of like the bends at Sheffield, being so sweeping. So yeah, we were very slow with him starting off. He's very lightly raced, and he's going into this kind of fresh. He's not got too much race experience. I think he's running a different kind of style to how he was before. He doesn't seem to kind of flashing out the boxes, but he's showing great pace from the first to the second bend now, in all of his trials. And yeah, we're pleased with him. We're going in slightly undercooked, but the dog's done it. He's got it on his TV, and like we said, he is better in races. So there's definitely more to come from him. He was so spectacular at Nottingham. He absolutely loved it there. Unfortunately, in the final, he did pick up an injury of the eclipse, but he'd been going so well going up to that point, and we took our time. We brought him back from injury slowly, and hopefully that kind of pays off, and we have a good campaign with him this year.
One of 2 middle runners. He got trap 5. How did you feel about that?
He's never a dog I'm nervous about trap draws with. He is a middle runner. I think personally his ideal box is 3, which you're very unlikely to get as a middle seed. But he's 1 from 5, he's 1 from 6. It was one of them where I didn't really mind what I got. I was more interested in kind of how the railers sorted themselves out, in kind of where me and Arkady kind of drew which way around. But yeah, he's a very nice dog to handle. He's really laid back in the kennel, and I'm not overly worried about the trap draw. It'll be what it'll be. If he comes out, we'll see a different dog to kind of what we've seen in the last few weeks.
And just as a side note, it's not just the dog that's pretty special. When it comes to the juvenile, your dad is too. He's the most successful trainer ever in the juvenile. I think you've had 5 winners as a kennel. So, you've got that little bit of nugget of information to live up to as well.
Yeah, it was one of them where we were like, right, where are we going to go this year? And the first port of call for us is always a juvenile. And being kind of at the Derby venue as well, it's kind of a good stepping stone. We don't really have too many long-term plans. And obviously the Derby is in the plan what's up kind of going forward, but we don't have anything immediately that we're going to kind of be aiming for. So we're just taking it one race at a time at the moment, and fingers crossed he goes well, because it is a competition that we love, and we've obviously had success in partnership with Pete as well, with Ballymac coming in a few years ago, and Ballymac Ramsey as well. So yeah, it's great. we all love we all love this race, and fingers crossed Podge can go well. He's a massive price, you know. We're not going into it expecting anything. We just want the dog to kind of do his running, and he's going straight into a £5,000 race off his bed, which, you know, is a little bit nerve-wracking, but I think that the dog's more than capable of winning the race. I think if he comes back to his best, you know, he'll be there or thereabouts.
Well, we wish you all the best, and good luck on Sunday, Rose. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Well, Dave Mullins joins me once again to talk about Arkady, who'll go from trap 6 in the RPGTV Juvenile on Sunday afternoon. Now, at the time of recording this, Dave, you're set to head to Central Park for the final of the Kent Plate. So we don't know the outcome of that as we're talking. But does it play into his paws or not, the fact that the runs are going to be closer together than was originally planned?
Well, as long as he comes out of this race tonight, you know, unscathed, he does thrive on quick runs. I mean, we give him a lot of work at home. You know, if he comes out tonight's race fine, tomorrow morning he'll be on the gallop. You know, just to stretch him out and loosen him up a bit. You know, but we work him. He does have a lot of work, you know, between races when we can, when the weather's with us, which was against us over the winter when we had the ice packs and all that. So yeah, maybe I think so.
Well, he's only September 20, and you look back now at the Kent Derby he won and the dogs that he beat and how the form has played out, the likes of Hotshot, Paddington and Burnchurch Mick, to name just two of them. What a final that was.
Oh, that was a great final. I mean, and if you look at it now, I mean, Hotshot Paddington to me is probably the most improved dog in the country. You know, last year he was winning Group 1s, and now he looks like a, you know, proper Derby dog. So, you know, to beat him in the manner he did, and Burnchurch Mick, we know, is top draw, and still doing it. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great field, and I think there was a couple of other good dogs in the race, I remember. But he banged out, got round the corner, and, you know, he's back straight pace. He's almost got the similar preparation for this race tonight, the Plate, as he did for the Kent Derby. You know, he came into it very fresh, probably needed a run, just qualified, and then went and won the semi-final and final. So we're hoping for a similar format.
And then obviously on Towcester on Sunday. What do you think from trap 6, and how highly do you rate this dog? I know after the Kent Derby, I spoke to you, and very, very highly would be the answer. Do you still feel that way?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, he's got all the right attributes. He's normally quite slick at the start. You know, and if he does that at Towcester, you know, it is for me. If you can get round in front, you've got a massive advantage. I know you've still got to get home. You know, it's a tough trip going all the way to the pickup, but it would give him a massive. How he deal with trap 6, I don't think he's draw dependent. He won the Kent Derby out of 5. Pretty much kept his line to the corner, so I'm not too concerned there. It's the start really for him, you know, because you haven't got. He does like a longer run to the corner, but the run up at Towcester wouldn't be anywhere near as long as what it would be at Central Park. So he would have to do it, you know, right at the start, which I think most of them, to be fair, are going to have to.
Well, we're looking forward to it very much. It's an intriguing race, and well done to you getting 2 into the Juvenile. It's not an easy thing to do, a very, very prestigious race. Congratulations on that, and all the best for Sunday.
Thank you very much.